Hello, James Maxwell with you here once again, and today I'm talking about target cutting and wrapping, or at least how I do target cutting and wrapping. For this clip, I will be using 3 bullwhips, all made by Louis Fox, the Maxwell Special, my Kingdom of the Crystal Skull 10-foot, and my 4-foot whip. So, here we go, target cutting and wrapping. Target cutting and wrapping are 2 very essential skills for people who want to work with people, stage performances, things like that. And I have developed a way that I do it. For most of my bullwhip work, actually almost all my bullwhip work, I am working in the loop, working with it. You can work against it, your preference. I find that doing it this way is incredibly much easier. So here we go. Target cutting first. I'm not going to actually have anything that I'm going to be cutting right now because of the constraints of having to set it up every single time that I cut. We're working on that though. So here we go. Target cutting. My target cutting looks like this. I'm still working with the belly of the whip, but you'll notice that I'm using a compound throw. There are a lot of fine artists out there who want to do their cutting with a single throw. I myself have found that I like having my setup action as well as imparting enough energy in my whip here with my upswing to ensure a nice solid crack and a nice solid cut every single time. In addition, it also gives my partner, in this case, a bunch of plastic PVC time to set up if I'm doing multiple fast target cutting. As always, your alignment starts from the very beginning. Railroad tracks, inside, outside. If you don't know what that means, by Mastering the Bolt, Volume 1 or Volume 2, available at thelunch.com. Let's see here. So my target cutting. Right here. One thing I always want to make sure is that I'm shooting straight from my shoulder to my target. Just like that. Why the upswing, you ask? Well, it's quite simple. One, not only does it give me my range, it tells my target person where I'm going to be cutting next, and it also gives me room for error. Margin of error. More than once I have been performing, and this comes up, something's not right. Hey, I can stop it. Okay? This is not a cutting stroke. You can cut with it, but in this case, it's not a cutting stroke. It's a preparatory stroke. So, I can do my prep. Oh, it's not right. Figure it out. Do it again. But, once it's there, it's a beautiful thing. Nice follow through. All the way down. Gives me a beautiful cut. It works almost every time. If I'm in a position where I have a low ceiling or something, and I'm going to discover that this is not going to work, I'm going to use a shorter bullwhip. Same thing though. I have a prep stroke, cutting stroke. Prep, cut, prep, cut, prep, cut, prep, cut. So, I'm prepping and I'm cutting. Same thing goes if I'm working horizontally or diagonally. I like having a compound so that I can set it and I can cut it. Alright, let's talk wraps. Now, I don't like using my cutting stroke when I'm wrapping for obvious reasons. What I am trying to do is I'm trying to go to the object that I am wrapping. In this case, it's this piece of plastic PVC. So, although I can wrap with my forward gypsy, I've always considered it to be rather messy to a point. I like to go straight to whatever it is that I'm wrapping with a really, really light touch. Very important. Really light touch. I just put a new fall on this, you'll have to excuse me. There we go. Just like that. So, my target is roughly here. I'm doing my wrap, my follow through, and it's all right here. And I am going straight to it. Straight to it. Just like that. Now, as you know, there are exceptions to every rule. My exception is distance. I'm working 6 to 8 feet with this whip. If I'm using a longer whip, a heavier whip, I will, in fact, do both my wrapping and my cutting with a single forward flick. Forward vertical flick, whatever you want to call it. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull whip. When I'm working the long whip, don't see a whole bunch of gypsy cracks when I'm using it. Primarily because not only is it very slow, but on an 8-inch handle it's a bit cumbersome. I can do it. I don't think it looks very pretty. So you'll see me do both my cutting and my wraps off of the flick. My cutting and my wraps. So both off of the forward flick. The weight and the mass of this whip makes things different than using a lighter whip. Shorter handle will change that as well. So you'll have to experiment a little bit, find out what works for you. But that is how I do my target cutting and I do my wraps for the most part. Like I said, rules are meant to be broken. You'll see me switch this up as needed. For the most part, I've discovered that for target cutting, I like a preparatory stroke and then a cutting stroke. And for wraps, I like going straight to whatever it is I'm wrapping and really light touch to ensure that I didn't harm my partner. So, there you have wrapping and target cutting a la James Maxwell. In the meantime, practice. Stay safe.